Night has fallen. The doors to the shrine must be open now.
Do you want to go on a sightseeing tour? The next tour leaves in, now basically. Saying goodbye is like when you empty your pockets before going to bed. You get to see what you picked up. The things I picked up need somewhere to sleep. Follow me. This is my tree. Since we can't bring it to the city, I don't care what we bring. I love the tree, and Dad cured it. That's what he did. All this purple stuff in the valley that makes you feel funny. See? This used to be purple. And dangerous. Dad made the dangerous part go away. He wanted to make it so all the purple rocks were safe and green. I know there are plants underwater. Can a tree become an underwater tree? This one can't die. It's been through too much. Let's go.
A mineral that can affect the mind. To what extent? Bird stole a small trinket. I left the bird its prize, but maybe I can learn more about the locket. The tree looks healthy. The ritual must have worked.
Let's go. We had a picnic here a long time ago. I can't remember it, but I've seen an old picture. Can you take a new picture? And I'll sit like Dad does in the old one I saw.
He is a great kid.
Mom disappeared one time. Took me a while to find her. She was sitting right here, and she was sad. I got one of her tears on my finger, like a little bug, and I flicked it into the water. And I said, flow, 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 until it didn't sound like a word anymore. It made her feel better. Now I say it. I say it when everything is moving, but we don't want to move. Come on. Let's go. His name is Frenay. I asked him how he ended up sleeping here. Frenay said they were in the valley because they were so hungry. And then there was light everywhere. And they fell asleep forever. They should be old men now. But they couldn't get older if they tried. One time I saw the monk out here cleaning them. It was so funny. He looked like he hated doing it. I'm not supposed to touch the soldiers. But I let Frenay borrow my pig. I need it back now. Let's go. Let's go.
This machine fueled countless tourists motoring into the valley. Supply lines must have been cut off when the war started.
I wanted to see the water come up from here. To see it crash. I thought the flood would clean everything. But Mom said a flood is dirty. That makes no sense. I asked if we could stay and watch, but Mom said we need to get a ride to the city. That's our house. You're good. Come on. Let's go. Mom wasn't there when he passed away. I was there. Dad had his eyes closed, but he was making a face, like he could see something. So I asked him what he was looking at. He said he was looking at me, and I was all grown up. He saw me climbing up a hill in the sun. Then he said his memories were falling to the soil and he had to go with them. He didn't want to go, but he had to. He squeezed my hand and it hurt, but I didn't mind. Can we wait here a while? Just to see if something will happen?
I met a boy who lost his father just like I did. It's something I don't talk about much, but I did to him. I've been recording everything for you, but this feels private. I'm not sure if I want to share this with the future. I was about your age when I lost my dad. Growing up, everyone said I took after him. I didn't know what it meant exactly, but I felt proud. He fell while climbing a mountain. The other climbers looked for him. He really tried. A friend of his almost fell, maybe in the same spot. The search was called off, but my search kept going. I couldn't understand where he went. Every morning when I woke up, I thought he'd be back. Couldn't he come back just as easily as he disappeared? I was embarrassed to look for him, but I did, secretly. I thought about impossibly small places, like in the air of my breath or in the silence between heartbeats. It was silly. I felt silly. At the same time I was growing up, I was changing all the time. Every night I would go to sleep and wake up a little different than the day before. And I realized my dad had gone to a place where you don't sleep and don't wake up, where you never change. They must be waiting for us there, in the place we all were before our memories began.
You're still here. The tour's over. That's your prize, okay? I have to go home now. I'll see you someday later today.
Sometimes recording, I feel like a vulture, feasting on a melancholic corpse. Never mind, forget this. The info sign earlier said they are dangerous in large numbers. I have a pendant though. Has the power of this god decayed like the statue? Or is it as strong as ever? These slips are prayers to this god for forgetting things. Void. I pray to the god of forgetting. I pray to the void to take a memory from me. There was a moment of hesitation between my pendant and the god. Did I really want this? If I did, my pendant would allow it. It happened just as my mom described. There was a moment as the memory left, when I felt the absence, but then it filled itself in. I'm embarrassed to tell you this, but after that moment in front of the statue, I no longer remember my own name. Void took it from me. I tried to remember someone saying my name. I looked through my journal and realized I never wrote it down. So it's really gone. Our minds are so delicate. I held my pendant tightly after that. What am I without a name? Can I decide now? Did forgetting part of me make me more free? Looks like there's no one around anymore to enforce this. There are a lot of these signs. They must really want to keep people out of this area. I found a dig site that is fenced off from view. What were they doing here? A gray hand said he left his materials behind. It should be somewhere around here. They look relieved to have finished their work. I like the tune well enough. There's a big tree with a researcher's notebook inside it somewhere. Could it be the source of the strange things I've seen in the valley? The work at the dig site has something to do with day 0. A pit this size must have taken a while to dig. Memories and emotions condensed into a mineral. I wonder what this channel is for. They must have already shipped out all the harpic they need. I wonder what's on this reel. What is day 0? Maybe I can find out more about it. They dug up all that harpic in order to conduct some sort of prayer on day 0.
I've recreated the same setup as the prayer statues right here in my workshop. I set up a singing bowl so I can verify the pattern that will form in the water. And some harpic, of course. Each god seems to correspond to a resonating frequency. And when this vibration acts on the harpic, we get the psychoactive response. Going to give it a try here.
I remember watching my dad make shadow puppets on the wall. Felt strange because I could see how it was done. I could see the trick of it, but it still felt kind of magical.
It worked. I do feel the more I do this, the more tired, and it feels like it takes me longer to return to the present. But now I have some control. I face the question of how this mineral affects the soil. I still have a lot of work to do. That's all for today.
This kind of experiment can wear out the mind. But this was worth it. I'm not sure I can go through that again. The memories of the owner now turned into a beautiful mineral. The gray hands present one side to the public, and another is hidden behind metal fences. There is no one to oppose them. There is only my record of what they did here. I'm not sure I can go through that again.
The necessity of day zero is not just psychological, it's ecological. Because there is a compounding effect to these minerals and their psychological effect. And we see this in Tieng Valley. There is a memory and a memory of a memory and a memory of a memory of a memory. This echo effect, this recursive nature is the problem. As this cycles through the ecosystem, it creates points of pressure where things bleed, and soil and human minds are contaminated. Some will say, what's a few daytime visions? But it is an increasing risk, an increasing danger. Left alone, the haunted quality of this season will only get worse. The necessity of day zero is also to... This particular action will neutralize this phenomenon at its source. This is not an endless cycle. We are putting an end to this psychoactive material, and we are opening up space for something new.
How do they plan to remove the haunted quality of this season?
The necessity of day zero is not just psychological, it's ecological.